The lipstick was Chanel Rouge Allure in pirate red. I know because I bought the same shade last Christmas, thinking it might rekindle something in my marriage. Greg never noticed. But there it was, perfectly stamped on the corner of a cream-colored note I found in his jacket pocket. Along with the faint scent of a perfume that wasn't mine. My name is Lydia, and until 5 minutes ago, I was folding laundry like any other Tuesday night. Now I'm standing in our master bedroom, holding evidence of my husband's betrayal between trembling fingers. Mom, have you seen my blue hoodie? Chloe's voice carries up the stairs, yanking me back to reality. Check the dryer, I call back, shoving the note into my pocket. My heart pounds against my ribs as I hear Greg's key in the front door. Honey, I'm home. His voice is cheerful, normal. Like he hasn't just shattered 17 years of marriage with a lipstick-stained secret. I smooth my hands over my jeans and head downstairs. Greg's setting his briefcase down, loosening his tie. He looks exactly the same, distinguished gray at his temples, architect-perfect posture, that smile that still makes something flutter in my chest. Except now I see the slight adjustment of his collar, the way his eyes don't quite meet mine. How was your day? I ask, proud of how steady my voice sounds. Busy. That new downtown project is killing me. He kisses my cheek, and I fight the urge to wipe it away. Tara and I had to stay late reviewing the plans. Tara. Of course it's Tara. Young, ambitious Tara with her perfect suits and sharp heels. I've seen how she looks at him during office parties. Dad, can I borrow the car tonight? Chloe appears, wearing the mysteriously recovered blue hoodie. Study group at Sarah's. Sure, princess. He tosses her the keys without checking with me. Like always. I watch them chat, father and daughter, while my fingers brush against the damning note in my pocket. They look so much alike, same confident stance, same easy charm. Same ability to make me feel invisible in my own home. Actually, I hear myself say, I need to talk to your father about something important. Greg's smile falters for just a fraction of a second. Can it wait? I'm exhausted. No, I say, pulling out the note. It really can't. The color drains from his face as he recognizes what I'm holding. Chloe looks between us, confusion clouding her features. And in that moment, I realize this isn't just about a lipstick stain or a secret note. This is about years of being taken for granted, of disappearing piece by piece. This is about getting even. Greg's excuses spill out like a practiced performance. Too practiced. Each word drives another nail into the coffin of our marriage as Chloe watches, her eyes darting between us like she's tracking a tennis match. It's just a thank you note from a client, Greg says, reaching for the paper. I pull it back. A client who wears Chanel Rouge Allure? My voice sounds foreign to my own ears. Who signs with just the letter T? Chloe steps forward, arms crossed. Mom, you're being ridiculous. Dad works with lots of women. Stay out of this, Chloe. But she's already positioned herself beside Greg, a united front against me. Just like always. Your mother's stressed, Greg says, placing a hand on Chloe's shoulder. She's imagining things that aren't there. I want to scream. Instead, I dial Maggie's number right there in front of them. Tell her about Tara, I say, putting the phone on speaker. Tell her about all those late nights at the office. Greg's face hardens. I'm not doing this in front of our daughter. Why not? You've been doing everything else in front of our daughter. Making me look crazy, making me doubt myself. Dad? Chloe's voice wavers. Who's Tara? Nobody, Greg snaps, then catches himself. Just a colleague. Maggie's voice cuts through the tension. Lydia? What's going on? Tell them about last Thursday, I say to Greg. When you said you were working late but your car was parked outside La Maison. Color drains from his face. He hadn't known I'd seen them, him and Tara, laughing over wine, his hand brushing hers across the table. You followed me? His voice rises with manufactured outrage. See, Chloe? This is what I'm dealing with. I didn't have to follow you. Sarah's mom works there, remember? She saw you. Chloe backs away from both of us, confusion morphing into something darker. I'm going to Sarah's, she announces, grabbing her keys. Chloe, wait, but she's already gone, the door slamming behind her. Greg's charm vanishes like smoke. Happy now? You've upset our daughter. No, I say, surprising myself with my calm. You did that when you decided to screw your assistant. Lydia? Maggie's still on the line. I'm coming over. Greg grabs his keys. I need some air. We'll discuss this when you're thinking rationally. As he leaves, I notice something I missed before, a small smudge of that same red lipstick on his collar. How many other clues had I ignored? How long had I been the fool in my own home? Maggie arrives 20 minutes later with a bottle of wine and her lawyer's notepad. Start from the beginning, she says. And this time, we're documenting everything. The silver Audi pulls into the underground parking garage of the Westbrook Hotel at exactly 7:15. I sink lower in my rental car's seat, watching Greg step out in his best charcoal suit. 3 minutes later, Tara emerges from her red Mercedes, wearing a dress that probably costs more than my monthly grocery budget. Maggie's words echo in my head, don't do anything stupid. But watching them disappear into the elevator together, his hand on the small of her back, makes my blood boil. I grab my phone to document the time and date, just like Maggie taught me. A tap on my window nearly stops my heart. Lydia Morrison? An older man peers in, his silver hair neat, his posture straight despite his age. I thought that was you. Do I know you? He smiles sadly. You used to. I'm Evan. Your father. 25 years of absence hit me like a physical blow. You need to leave. I've been trying to find the right moment to approach you. He glances at the hotel entrance. But it seems you're occupied. Gathering evidence for my divorce. The words slip out before I can stop them. History repeating itself, he murmurs. Your mother was doing the same thing when I left. I grip the steering wheel harder. You don't get to talk about Mom. I do, actually. Because what happened between your mother and me might help you now. He pulls out a business card. I'm staying at the Marriott. When you're done here, come find me. There are things you need to know. After he leaves, I sit there shaking, torn between following Greg and confronting the ghost of my past. My phone buzzes, a text from Chloe. Still at Sarah's. Don't wait up. Except I know she's lying because Sarah's mom called earlier, worried because Chloe hasn't been to study group in weeks. Another betrayal, another crack in my family's foundation. I start the car. The hotel can wait. Greg and Tara's affair is already documented, the lipstick, the notes, the photos Maggie's private investigator took. But my father's sudden appearance feels like a sign, a piece of a puzzle I didn't know I was solving. The Marriott's lobby is all marble and soft lighting. Evan stands when he sees me, gesturing to a quiet corner. Your mother wasn't the one having the affair, he says without preamble. I was. With her best friend. She found out, just like you did, and she planned to destroy me. His eyes meet mine. But her revenge cost her everything, including you. What are you talking about? She died thinking she'd won, but all she did was poison herself with hatred. He reaches for my hand. Don't make her mistakes, Lydia. There are better ways to fight back. The doctor's office smells like antiseptic and broken promises. I stare at the prescription in my hand, anxiety medication. Apparently, discovering your husband's affair, confronting your long-lost father, and losing your daughter's trust can manifest as panic attacks. My phone buzzes. Another text from Chloe, going to Dad's hotel. He says you're not well. Hotel. Not apartment. The word hits like a slap. Greg's moved out of his temporary apartment, upgrading to somewhere more suitable for his new life. With her. Mrs. Morrison? The pharmacist calls my name. I almost don't recognize it anymore. Who is Mrs. Morrison now? The dutiful wife? The vengeful woman? The failing mother? Walking to my car, I spot Evans sitting on a bench outside. He's reading my mother's old journal, the one he claims she left him before she died. Following me now? Maggie told me you had an appointment. He closes the journal. Your mother had panic attacks too, near the end. Stop comparing me to her. I'm nothing like. She hired a private investigator, he interrupts. Gathered evidence. Planned to ruin me professionally. Sound familiar? My hands shake as I unlock the car. You deserved it. Maybe. But it destroyed her. The obsession with revenge consumed everything else. He holds out the journal. Read it. See for yourself. At home, I find Chloe packing a suitcase. She freezes when she sees me. Dad says you're stalking him and Tara. Her voice cracks. He's worried about your mental state. Of course he is. Greg's always been brilliant at manipulation. I want to scream, to shake her, to make her see. Instead, I opened my mother's journal and read aloud. The satisfaction of destroying him isn't worth losing myself. Or worse, losing my daughter. Chloe pauses at the stairs. What's that? Your grandmother's words. Before she died thinking revenge would heal her. I close the journal. I won't make the same mistake. My phone pings, an email from Maggie with surveillance photos. Greg and Tara entering his hotel. Documentation of their affair, times, dates, locations. Everything I need to destroy him in divorce court. I delete it. Chloe watches me, her suitcase forgotten. Mom? I won't fight him for you, I say. I won't make you choose sides. But I won't let him make me the villain either. She sits on the stairs, uncertainty replacing anger. What will you do? I think about the community center I passed earlier, its sign advertising support groups for women rebuilding their lives. About Evan's warnings. About my mother's regrets. I'm going to save myself, I say. And hope you'll be there to see it. The Phoenix Women's Center smells like coffee and new beginnings. I didn't plan to come here, just followed the sign after another sleepless night. Now I'm sitting in a circle of strangers, clutching styrofoam coffee, listening to stories that mirror my own. The hardest part isn't leaving, a woman named Janet says. It's deciding who you'll become after. The group leader, Liam Parker, catches my eye. He's younger than I expected, with kind eyes that see too much. Lydia, would you like to share? Before I can answer, my phone vibrates. Greg's name flashes on the screen, followed by rapid-fire texts. Chloe told me about the support group. You're embarrassing our family. We need to talk about your behavior. My hands shake so badly I nearly drop the phone. Liam notices, smoothly redirecting the group's attention to another speaker. After the session, he approaches with a business card. We offer legal resources too, he says quietly. And career counseling. I'm not leaving my husband. Aren't you? His gentleness makes it worse. You're here, aren't you? Outside, I find Tara waiting by my car. She's wearing the same shade of lipstick from the note, but it's smeared slightly, her composure cracking. Greg's filing for full custody of Chloe, she says without preamble. He thinks you're unstable. The world tilts sideways. He can't. He can. And he will. She glances at the center's sign. Unless. Unless what? Sign the divorce papers. Give him what he wants. He'll let you keep joint custody. My mother's journal burns in my bag, full of warnings about the price of pride. But there's something in Tara's eyes, fear, maybe. Or guilt. Why are you really here? She touches her smeared lipstick. Because I saw the photos in his phone. The ones before me. The other women. Her laugh is hollow. We're all replaceable to him. Even me. My phone buzzes again. Chloe, Mom, please. Just sign the papers. I don't want to testify. Testify. The word hits like a physical blow. Greg's not just threatening to take my daughter, he's prepared to destroy me in court. I pull out Liam's card, then my mother's journal. 2 paths forward. Revenge or redemption. Destruction or reconstruction. Tell Greg he'll have his answer tomorrow, I tell Tara. She nods, already walking away. But I'm not watching her leave. I'm watching my reflection in the car window, seeing for the first time not Greg's wife or Chloe's mother, but someone else entirely. Someone who's finally ready to fight back, not for revenge, but for survival. Greg's annual architecture gala feels like a funeral in reverse, everyone dressed in their finest. Pretending not to see the corpse of my marriage on display. I shouldn't be here, but Maggie insisted. Own your space, she said. Don't let them write your story. Across the room, Tara laughs at something Greg whispers, her hand possessively on his arm. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. 3 other partners' wives avoid my gaze, their own guilty secrets evident in their stiff shoulders. Mrs. Morrison. Marcus Chen, Greg's boss, appears beside me. Unusual to see you here, given the circumstances. Just supporting the firm, I say, raising my champagne. Like always. His eyes narrow. Greg mentioned you've been unstable lately. Causing scenes at his hotel? Before I can respond, Chloe storms up, face flushed. Mom, what are you doing here? Dad said you promised to stay away. Did he? I watch Greg watching us, his practice concern fooling everyone except me. Like he promised to stay faithful? Don't. Chloe's voice cracks. Just don't. She rushes off toward Greg, who wraps her in a protective embrace. Tara steps back, the perfect understanding mistress, while Marcus shakes his head sadly. My phone buzzes, Evan, don't do anything rash. Remember your mother's mistakes. But I'm already moving, 17 years of silence burning in my throat. The microphone for speeches sits unattended on the small stage. One quick movement and it's in my hand. Ladies and gentlemen. My voice echoes through the ballroom. I'd like to propose a toast. Greg starts forward, but he's too late. To the other women. I raise my glass. Not just Tara, though she's certainly the latest. But Sarah from accounting 5 years ago. Rebecca from the Denver project. Amanda from security appears, Greg's hand signals swift and decisive. As they escort me out, I catch a glimpse of Chloe's face, not angry now, but devastated. Confused. Behind her, Tara's perfect composure cracks as she looks at Greg with new understanding. Outside, the night air hits like a slap. My phone explodes with messages. Maggie, what have you done? Liam, come to the center. Now. Greg, you'll never see Chloe again. Chloe, I hate you. I slide down the building's marble wall, my designer dress catching on rough stone. The satisfaction I expected feels hollow, poisonous. In trying to destroy Greg, I've become exactly what he painted me to be, unstable, vindictive, dangerous. A shadow falls over me. It's Evan, offering his hand. Now, he says quietly, are you ready to hear how your mother's story really ended? Evan's inheritance letter sits on Greg's desk like a loaded gun. $3 million, all mine, provided I walk away from the divorce proceedings immediately. Greg stares at the paper, then at me, his perfect facade cracking. You planned this, he says. You and your father. No. But it's fitting, isn't it? You tried to paint me as unstable to take everything. Now I don't need anything. His laugh is ugly. You really think Chloe will choose you? After that scene at the gala? The door opens. Chloe stands there, still in her school uniform, holding her phone. I found the others, she says quietly. Greg's face pales. What others? The women Mom mentioned. I messaged them on Instagram. Her voice shakes. Amanda told me everything. About the pregnancy. About how you paid. That's enough. Greg moves toward her, but she steps back. Did you really think I wouldn't find out? That we wouldn't talk to each other? I watch my daughter transform before my eyes, her innocence burning away like morning frost. Part of me wants to shield her, even now. But she deserves the truth, all of it. Sign the papers, Greg, I say. Joint custody. Equal split of assets. Or everything comes out, not just the affairs, but the money you've been moving through the Panama accounts. His head snaps up. How did you? Maggie's not just my friend. She's also the best forensic accountant in the state. I slide the divorce agreement across his desk. Your choice. Clean break or total destruction. Dad? Chloe's voice is small. Just sign it. Please. Greg looks between us, seeing for the first time how much he's lost. His pen hovers over the paper. You'll regret this, he says. Both of you. No. I think of my mother's journal, of Evan's warnings, of all the women at the Phoenix Center. The only thing I regret is letting you convince me I was worthless. He signs. Each stroke of the pen feels like a key turning in a lock. Chloe moves to my side, not touching, but close. What now? I pull out another document, plans for the Phoenix Center's expansion. $3 million will build a lot of new beginnings. Now we heal, I say. Not for revenge. Not for him. For us. Greg watches us leave, already reaching for his phone, probably calling Tara. But it doesn't matter anymore. His power over us died with that signature, and in its place, something new is growing. Something stronger than revenge. Something like hope. The Phoenix Center's new wing gleams in the morning light. Through the windows, I watch women filing in for today's session, each carrying their own version of my story. Evan stands beside me, both of us reflected in the glass. Your mother would be proud, he says, handling me a worn envelope. She wrote this the day before she died. I never had the courage to give it to you until now. Inside, I find her familiar handwriting. My dearest Lydia. Revenge is a mirror that shows us who we really are. I chose to see only anger in my reflection. I pray you'll see something more. Footsteps behind us, Chloe, arriving early for her volunteer shift. She started counseling teens whose parents are divorcing, turning her pain into purpose. She hugs me briefly, then nods at Evan. Greg's firm lost the downtown project, she says. Tara left him for a position in Seattle. Are you okay with that? She shrugs, but her eyes are clearer now, wiser. He made his choices. We're making ours. The session room fills quickly. I recognize faces, Janet from my first meeting, 3 of Greg's other women who've become unlikely allies, even Tara. Sitting quietly in the back before her departure west. Liam catches my eye as I take the podium, his smile encouraging. We're still figuring out what we might become to each other, but there's no rush. Some healing needs time. Welcome, I say to the group. Today we're discussing the difference between revenge and justice. A new woman raises her hand, makeup barely hiding her bruises. How do you choose between them? I touch my mother's letter in my pocket. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you discover that real justice isn't about destroying someone else, it's about refusing to let them destroy you. Chloe squeezes my hand as I step down, whispering, "Mom? I found more of Dad's financial records. Should we?" "No," I say. "Let karma handle Greg. We have better things to build." Through the window, I catch a glimpse of my reflection, not Greg's wife or Chloe's mother or Evan's daughter, but simply myself. The woman who chose to break the cycle, who turned betrayal into foundation stones for something stronger. The session begins, voices rising and falling like waves, each story different but connected. In their faces, I see what my mother couldn't, that sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. It's living well enough to help others live better. I open my notebook and begin writing, not about the past, but about tomorrow. After all, that's where the real story begins.